While watching bullish price actions, let us inform you our review on ANTE, AirNet Technology Incorporated, a China-based investment holding company that's been making some interesting moves lately. If you're not familiar with AirNet, they're a bit of a hybrid company operating in two very distinct segments. First, there's their cryptocurrency mining business, which is all about expanding their computing power, measured by hash rate, to support blockchain operations. This is a high-tech, high-stakes game, especially in the volatile world of crypto. Then there's their media network segment, which is a bit more traditional. They sell advertising time slots, primarily through an air travel advertising network. So you've got this interesting mix of cutting-edge tech and more conventional media advertising, which makes AirNet a unique player in the market. Now, let's get into the big news that's got people talking. AirNet recently announced that they've entered into a non-binding letter of intent, LOI, with LLP Corp, a Kazakhstan-based company, to develop a 130-megawatt liquid-cooled Bitcoin mining farm in Kazakhstan. This is a pretty significant development, and it's worth unpacking what this could mean for the company and its investors. First, let's talk about why this is a big deal. Liquid-cooled mining farms are a game changer in the crypto mining world. Traditional air-cooled systems can struggle to manage the heat generated by all those mining rigs, which can lead to higher operational costs and even equipment failure. Liquid cooling is much more efficient, keeping the rigs at optimal temperatures and potentially lowering electricity costs, which is one of the biggest expenses in crypto mining. So, from a technical standpoint, this is a smart move. Then there's the location, Kazakhstan. Over the past few years, Kazakhstan has become a hotspot for crypto mining, and for good reason. The country offers relatively cheap electricity, which is a huge advantage when you're running energy-intensive mining operations. Plus, Kazakhstan has been fairly crypto-friendly in terms of regulations, especially compared to some other countries that have cracked down on mining activities. So, setting up a mining farm there makes a lot of sense from a strategic perspective. And this is but the LOI is non-binding. That means the parties haven't agreed on the terms, structure, or timing of the investment yet. So, while this announcement is definitely a positive signal that AirNet is looking to grow its crypto mining footprint, it's not a done deal. Investors should keep in mind that non-binding agreements can fall apart if the parties can't come to terms or if market conditions change. There's also the question of funding. How will AirNet finance this project? Will they need to raise capital, and if so, how will that impact their balance sheet or dilute existing shareholders? These are all critical questions that don't have answers yet. Let's also talk about the broader context here. AirNet's dual focus on crypto mining and media advertising means they're exposed to risks in two very different industries. On the crypto side, the market is notoriously volatile. Bitcoin prices can swing wildly, and profitability in mining is heavily dependent on those price movements. If Bitcoin prices drop, the economics of running a mining operation can quickly turn sour. On the media side, while advertising is generally more stable, it's not immune to economic downturns or shifts in consumer behavior. So, AirNet is essentially balancing two very different sets of risks, which can make it a bit of a roller coaster for investors. That said, if AirNet can successfully execute on this Kazakhstan project, it could be a significant growth driver for the company. A 130-megawatt mining farm is no small operation, and if they can get it up and running efficiently, it could substantially boost their hash rate and, by extension, their mining revenues. Plus, being in Kazakhstan gives them access to cheap electricity, which could improve their profit margins. But again, this is all contingent on the LOI turning into a binding agreement and the project moving forward as planned. For investors, this development is a mixed bag. On one hand, it shows that AirNet is actively pursuing growth opportunities in the crypto space, which could pay off big if Bitcoin prices rise and mining becomes more profitable. On the other hand, the lack of binding terms introduces uncertainty, and the crypto market itself is notoriously volatile. Plus, AirNet's dual focus on crypto mining and media advertising means they're exposed to risks in two very different industries. If one segment underperforms, it could drag down the whole company. So what's the takeaway? Keep an eye on how this LOI progresses. If AirNet and LLP STH Corp can finalize the deal and move forward with the mining farm, it could be a significant growth driver for the company. But until then, it's a wait-and-see situation. For those who are bullish on crypto and believe in AirNet's ability to execute, this could be an interesting opportunity. For more risk-averse investors, it might be worth holding off until there's more clarity on the terms and financing of the project. Either way, AirNet is definitely a company to watch in the coming months. In summary, AirNet Technology Inc. is making some bold moves that could potentially pay off big, but there are still a lot of unknowns. The Kazakhstan mining farm project is exciting, but it's not a sure thing yet. Investors should stay tuned for updates on how this LOI progresses, as well as any news on financing or partnerships that could shed more light on the company's plans. As always, do your due diligence and consider your risk tolerance before making any investment decisions. Please subscribe, give the video a like, and watch more from our playlist. Thanks.